Hello, Creative Gems. Welcome back to Creativity. And if you're new, thank you so much for stopping by. Today I'm back with another idea on how to make a hanging chandelier. This time we're going to use one of these 3D wreath forms I found at the Dollar Tree. And just to note that there are two sizes at the Dollar Tree, and this one is the smaller version. First thing we're going to do is to assemble the wreath form into a sphere shape. The wreath form is a wired wreath form that comes with four circular wires that attach together at the top and bottom. What you want to do is spread out the circular wires so they are evenly spaced as much as possible. Then we're going to take one of these silver things. I'm not sure what they're called, but they have 8 spokes that you need to fold down to keep the wreath form in place. I'm not sure if I'm explaining this clearly, so I would suggest watching how I keep the wreath form from getting disassembled. Once the 8 spokes are all folded down, double check each circular wire again to make sure they are spaced evenly. Here I'm applying some hot glue to the bottom to secure the wiring. I also found that one of the circular wires snapped apart, so I'm going to join the pieces together with a bit of hot glue. And if you're still with me, I would like to hear from you in the comments section by dropping me a note with the word chandelier and letting me know where you are tuning in from. I know many of you are from the US and from Canada as well, but I have also seen messages from some of you that you are tuning in from as far as Australia, the Caribbean, and Trinidad. And if any of you are from South America, the UK, or anywhere from Europe, Africa, or Asia, I would also love to say hi to you as well. Next, we're going to take a pair of small black display easels, the smaller version that I found at the Dollar Tree because they do actually have two sizes. And we're going to stand them upright inside the assembled wreath form. This part may be a bit tricky though because we'll need to hold the wreath form steady while we place the display easels inside one at a time. And when you place the display easels inside, you'll want each to be extended as wide as possible and position them so they form the shape of an X. Using some hot glue, the two easels should then be adhered together towards the top of the wreath form where there is a piece of wiring hanging down vertically in the center. Once again, I'm not sure if I'm actually explaining this clearly, so I would suggest watching me go through the process. What I'll do is hot glue the two display easels back to back at the spine. And again, you want to make sure to extend each of the display easels out as wide as possible, and when they're glued at the spine, the two easels should then form an X. And while we work on that, I would like to take a moment to thank you for tuning in to today's craft project. If you enjoy Glam home decor and DIY crafts on a budget, please hit that subscribe button to help me grow my channel. And if you like what you see today, please give me a thumbs up as well. Your support will really help me continue providing you with more and more amazing and creative craft tutorials. And the best part is, subscribing and giving me a thumbs up is absolutely free, but will make a world of difference to me and my channel. The next thing I want to do is cover the gaps between the two display easels. There's also a lot of unsightly hot glue that I want to cover up. So we're going to apply this beautiful silver crystal ribbon down the length of the display easels. This ribbon is so easy to work with and it's very flexible and can be cut to size. I found it on Amazon, and in case you want to add this to your collection of craft supplies, I'll leave a link to my Amazon store in the description box. Here I'm just cutting out enough strips so that we have a strip for each side that has a gap between the two display easels. Then I'll apply small dollops of hot glue along the spines of the display easels and then adhere the rhinestone ribbons to it. And if you're still with me, pop me a note in the comments section and let me know what are your favorite craft materials to work with. Do you like to use craft paper, ribbons, gems, crystal pieces, or all of the above? Once all the gaps are covered, this is what the chandelier should look like so far. And now we're ready to start thinking about where we want to hang some crystal garlands. I'm going to use my soldering tool to poke small holes in the display easel where I want the strands of crystal garlands to hang. I'll have some vertical strands as well as some strands that hang horizontally between the legs of the easels. Using the soldering tool is so quick and easy, but you want to make sure that you turn it off or unplug it as soon as you're done because it does tend to get extremely hot even on the lowest setting. I'll also leave a link down in the description box in case you would like to purchase this tool for your own crafts. With all the holes positioned on the display easels, we're now ready to start hanging the crystal garland strands. Depending on how much of a hang you want, you may want shorter or longer strands. And I forgot to mention that these crystal garlands are perfect for making DIY chandeliers because you can customize the size of the strands by using the jump rings. You can hook and unhook the jump rings according to the length you want. With that said, though, my suggestion is that you don't spend time or money fixing up your nails because the jump rings will do a number on your manicure. Some of you who have watched my previous DIY chandelier videos already know the trouble I have with opening and closing those jump rings without scratching my nails, and it is a sore point I have. But in the end, I love crystal chandeliers and I love crafting, so it's a sacrifice I have chosen to make to not always have pretty nails. You could try using pliers as well, but perhaps I'm not as coordinated as some of you because I did try using two needle nose pliers in my last chandelier and ended up giving up the pliers as it was too difficult and slow of a process to get all the strands in place. And if you're still with me, comment down below with the word chandelier and let me know if you have ever made a chandelier like this before with those jump rings and crystal garland pieces, and whether you have had similar challenges with your nails when manipulating those jump rings. And if you haven't made one of these chandeliers but would like to try to make one, I'll leave a link in the description box to all my favorite embellishments, including these crystal garlands. With the crystal garland strands all in place now, it's time to figure out a lighting source. And you'll see shortly I came up with two ideas for this chandelier. We'll start with the first solution I came up with. I have a clear plastic cap I found that should be able to emit light through easily since it's see-through. I'm going to use my handy dandy glue gun and poke a small hole at the bottom right in the center. If you don't want to use your glue gun, you can also use a soldering tool if you have one. Either will work. I was just too lazy to get my soldering tool out again, and the glue gun was already powered on. Once I have a hole large enough, I'm going to place the plastic cap on the bottom of the chandelier, but inside, where there's a piece of wire that sticks up. That will help hold the cap in place. Next, I'm going to take a solar garden light. I have one here and I have removed the stick from the light. We'll hot glue this light to the top of the cap. See how the light glows? And then we'll hang a short garland with a teardrop crystal piece down the center at the bottom to finish the look. This piece is optional, but you know what I always say, the more bling, the better, especially on a crystal chandelier. Now, before we hang the chandelier, we need to figure out a way to hang it. I have two small nylon cable ties that I will loop at the top of the chandelier. Since this chandelier is pretty lightweight, these nylon cable ties should be able to hold the weight of the chandelier without any issues at all. I'll loop two of them for extra reinforcement, although I think one should actually be sufficient. Having a second one, though, can also help balance out the chandelier so it doesn't hang lopsided. It's just a little tricky to get the ties to loop because the space is pretty tight. And here's the first look for our crystal chandelier. I have this hanging in complete darkness in a very small bathroom, so the video may look pretty grainy. But what I wanted to point out is that the solar light doesn't seem to be bright enough to provide sufficient lighting for this bathroom. It might be because I didn't charge up the solar light yet, but overall, I really don't think the light will be bright enough. So I'm going to have to take this back to my craft studio and show you my second lighting solution. I'm going to string fairy lights all around the chandelier. These are LED lights and there are a lot of mini bulbs on the string lights. If you have seen some of my other chandeliers, you'll probably recognize these string lights. The only downside with these string lights though is that there is no remote control, so it's a bit inconvenient to power on and off the chandelier. But I just wanted to show you what the possibilities are in terms of the functionality of this chandelier. It's not only a beautiful piece to showcase in the home, but it can also serve a purpose to light up the space. Here I am stringing the lights randomly, but also making sure the light bulbs are spread apart enough so that the light will disperse rather than concentrate in one area. These string lights are very flexible as well, so I can position them easily anywhere I want. And I know some of you will ask me where I found these string lights, so make sure you check the video description down below for links to all my favorite embellishments and crafting tools, along with a curated list of Dollar Tree alternatives. It's all there, but if you're not able to find something you saw on my channel, give me a shout out and I'll reply back. Now for the battery pack. This one is very small and lightweight. It's also flat, so I'm going to hot glue it to the side of one of the easels. And here you go. The chandelier is hanging in the same bathroom as before, and you can see what a huge difference the string lights make. There's such a beautiful glow coming from the chandelier as well. And I love how the crystal garland strands hang. Comment down below with the word chandelier and let me know what you think. And in the meantime, stick around and check out some of my other DIY glam home decor pieces.